Hi boys and girls, this is Miss Eileen. Friends, I hope you are doing so good today. Friends, today I'd like to read you a book. My story is about the Pied Piper, which is a very famous story retold by Cecilia Slater. High in the mountain next to the sparkling river was the beautiful town of Hamilton. It was a happy place full of laughing children, until one day something terrible happened. Rats, thousands of them, invaded the town of Hamlin. Suddenly big rats, small rats, brown rats, and white rats were everywhere. They scampered through the streets and into the house, nibbling on cakes and pies and hiding everywhere, even in the children's sleepers. The townspeople tried everything to get rid of the rats. They chased them with brooms, built huge traps, and even tried to scare them with loud noises. Nothing worked. Each day, there seemed to be more and more rats. The townspeople grew desperate. They demanded that the mayor and the plague end the plague of rats. The mayor called a town meeting to discuss the problem. Many people gave speeches, but no one, certainly not the mayor, knew how to get rid of the rats. Suddenly, a stranger entered the hall. The townspeople stopped their arguing and stared at the newcomer. No one had ever seen anyone like him. He was twice as tall as the tallest person in Hamlin, and his nose was long and pointy. His clothes were bright and colorful, and a pink peacock feather topped his hat. Can you see the new boys and girls? The hat? But most unusual of all was the sparkling silver flute hanging from his belt. It glittered like a rare jewel and glowed like the brightest star in the sky. Good afternoon, said the stranger with a smile. I am the Pied Piper, and I can get rid of the rats in Hamlin. But you must pay me 1,000 gold coins for more help. Why should we pay you so much? Asked the mayor, when we cannot be sure that the rats won't return. My fee may seem high, replied the Pied Piper, but can you pay a price on your town's happiness? As for trust, I give you my word, the rats will never come back. All I ask is that you promise to pay me 1,000 gold coins. The desperate townspeople forced the mayor to accept the piper's offer. They were sure that this magical stranger and his shining flute would somehow get rid of the rats. The next morning, the townspeople woke to the sweet sound of music floating through the air. The Pied Piper was playing his flute in the town square. As the townspeople watched from their windows, thousands of rats began to pour into the square. They ran out of the houses, climbed down from the trees, and crawled up from the sewer. They came from every part of town. Still playing his merry tune, the Pied Piper began to walk toward the river. The rats, as if under a spell, parade after him. When he reached the water's edge, the Pied Piper waved the rats onward. One by one, they jumped into the river and drowned. Can you see, boys and girls? Now everybody, all the rats are in the river. Not a single rat was left in the town of Hamlin. Cheering loudly, the townspeople ran out of their houses to celebrate the Pied Piper's victory over the rats. They danced and sang as they followed the piper to the mayor's office. The mayor was waiting for the piper with a small bag of coins. We thank you for your help, said the mayor, but the rats left so quickly and easily that you should be paid only 50 gold coins. The greedy townspeople agreed with their sly mayor. It means with the mean mayor. Because first, boys and girls, as you can remember, they promised that they will pay the Pied Piper 1,000, but now it's not 1,000. It's just 50, which is so less. The amount you ask is too much money for getting rid of a few rats. They said, after all, 1,000 gold coins could feed everyone in Hamelin for a year. The Pied Piper was furious. It means angry. I have kept my word and now you must keep yours. I will give you 1 day to pay me what we agreed upon, he said. I warn you, though, if you don't pay me, your children will. The townspeople thought that was a fine joke. How could the children possibly pay the piper? The Pied Piper's deadline passed. The mayor and the townspeople thought they had seen the last of him. Suddenly, the first notes of an enchanting tune drifted through the town. The Pied Piper, tall and stern, stood in the square with his flute at his lips. As he played, sparks of anger seemed to fly from the gleaming flute. Still, the townspeople laughed. Perhaps he is hoping his music will weave a spell on our money and make it flow him out of town. Soon, however, their laughter turns to tears. As the pipes' music grew louder, children from all over Hamelin began to scamper into the square. Soon every child of Hamelin was twirling and dancing happily around the Pied Piper. With a wicked grin, the piper began to walk toward the mountains. The townspeople, now terrified, began to call out to their children. Not a single child answered. Like puppets on strings, the children followed the piper up the steep mountainside and through a narrow passage. Suddenly there was a loud roar. Rocks began to tumble and crash into the pathway. In a matter of minutes, the children were seated behind a wall of rocks. Only one lame boy, who could not keep up with the rest of the children, remained behind. The townspeople searched high and low for a way through the wall. The little lame boy looked for the passageway too. He wanted to join his friends in the magical world the piper's tune had described, but the children were never ever found. Today, a statue of the Pied Piper stands in the center of Hamelin to remind everyone of the importance of keeping a promise. So boys and girls, do you think it was a good idea when the mayor didn't keep his promise? No way. When you promise somebody, we need to always remember our promise and do it right. Boys and girls, thank you so much for listening and bye.